and we wouldn't have that much. That's right.
Both installments of your real estate taxes have been due and collected, right?
The first one.
Just the first one.
October 21st or something.
Lied to me this morning. They both said that we thought both of them was due.
Well, the next one is due the 23rd of this month. And
That's
then,
what I was thinking. I thought, well, I went along with it. I made a statement. I thought both of them been collected.
and we did do the first disbursement already, so.
So let that be corrected. We haven't paid both of them. And again, too, even though after both of them, there's still some that are delinquent and end up paying a little.
We have a tax sale in, sometime in, December. And that'd be the ones delinquent. I think, well, I don't know today, I think it's 14.
Second installment's what, the 23rd?
I think it's 23rd, yeah.
That's a Tuesday. Okay.
And make one more paid out, that's when we should get a little bit more money for county general land, so.
Okay. State, coming across with any more extra money?
This got a check today for 40-some, I forgot what it was, 40-some thousand from, property tax replacement.
Okay. Is that added onto this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, moved it into that.
Okay.
We have got,
Rumor has the state's gonna try to do better, start sending everybody money. You believe that, huh? That's a rumor I heard.
I heard her say something about they still was broke this morning.
They're still broke this morning.
Said they didn't, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Just hanging on, I guess.
It's gonna be a bad year next year, but.
Everybody just hanging on, aren't they? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Floyd.
See, Larry, I didn't take long, I told you.
Larry?
What's going on?
You waiting for paperwork. I got a stack of that to get caught up on now.
I'm sure. Gerald talked about it a little bit this morning on radio, and he said that they're doing an archaeological study out there right now because you have to move a little dirt.
That's standard operating procedure.
That's standard procedure. They don't suspect a site or nothing being there or anything like that, okay? Heaven forbid they find an arrowhead laying there accidentally.
You gotta go somewhere else.
They would clock it.
You've got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't.
It'd take more than one because they're scattered all
Well,
over.
I would hope, but I don't know. I don't know what that procedure is. It has been years since we've had to deal with that because we have always had gotten our extra material from existing borrow pits.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing. You know, it's already been disturbed, so that's not an issue. This one is a new field that the farmer's wanting to.
You're gonna create a barrel pit out there is what you're saying?
He's wanting a hill cut out.
A hill, okay.
Yeah, you got a hill, he's wanting to level down, I guess, so it's better farming.
West side or east side?
It's over on the west of the bridge there, about a half a mile.
Do you pay for this dirt, or he gets a hill taken away and you get paid for the dirt?
Well,
That's not bad.
we pay the contractor, he makes the arrangements with the property owner.
Okay, county has nothing to do with that. Okay.
No, but the contractor can't do anything with the dirt until he gets, there's 2 or 3 things you gotta go through. One, the dirt has to be tested and make sure it's structurally sound dirt, good dirt to use for construction. And that's been done, I've been told. Mike told me that, yeah, the dirt's been approved, but now we're waiting on, and understand, see, I've already gone through this for the bridge site. We had to do all this, and wetlands and endangered species, that all had to be done on the bridge site before we let the project, so it's cleared there, so it's just more red tape.
We were wondering, how many more of those wooden bridges piling is Country Club Road and then one up by Bobby Jones?
That's the 2 railroad bridges.
Okay. Several.
We have, I did.
2 or 3.
We have about 10 bridges, including these 3, of course, this one's gonna be gone pretty soon, that have timber piling in them. I've got 6, 7.
You're not speaking just railroad? Okay.
7, 8, 9 bridges with timber piling under. We just, this summer, did some repairs to 3 of them to keep them going until we get them replaced, which is hopefully in the next year or so. You know, they're being designed now, it's just
That one there, northwest of Round Knob, is that there by Georgia, is that?
there's 2 there south of Roy, Georgia, and then one up at Kent Court. Those are 3 we had to do some repairs to this year to keep them going, and those are all 3 under design contract, and it's just a matter of getting the plans done. One of them is scheduled for letting next summer, and the other 2 I've got the money set aside. I could let them anytime they get the job done. There'll be a
one
local
that Kent Court is at the intersection of the interstate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be next summer, hopefully, or that's when it's scheduled for. That'll be a Springfield letting. The other 2 will be a local letting. Yeah, we keep an eye on those. We've got, I've got inspection due on some of the others this winter, so we'll check those piling out and see how they look. We've been keeping a pretty close eye on them because they're in that time frame that the old timers that have been through this before have told me you got to watch them when they get a certain age, because that's when and that's what we run into on these. I've been watching them pretty close, and the piling will deteriorate very quickly. 2 years ago, they seemed to be all right. This time I had some questions, and I called the bridge office, and they come down and look and said, if you want to keep them open, you need to do some repairs, and we did.
Well, that one up there in the bottom, that old concrete bridge, now will that ever be replaced?
Maybe beside it.
Just build another one. The culvert won't work and then with too much flow.
Well, the one you filled in there, Ken, alone, that's a good solid bridge, isn't it?
It's got a 14-ton weight limit on it. But you won't take that one out. Not right now, anyway.
It's a historic bridge.
Yeah.
You had to save that one to get rid of 1910, didn't you?
No, the Weaver Creek at 1910.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not saying right now, because that whole historic bridge issue is being looked at right now. Will that one end up historic when they get done? I have no idea.
Oh, well, they made you keep one old concrete bridge?
Well, no.
Why is that one any different than the one over on Pell?
How's it made?
It is, and you've got to recognize what they're calling historic sometimes. If a contractor got imaginative with the way he formed the concrete, and we had several that were. I've got another one that I could have used, and I don't want to because I want to replace it. We've got another concrete bridge in the county that is built the same way. It's the way they formed the top cap. On most of the through girder bridges, which that's a through girder, we've still got 2 through girder bridges left in the county. If you looked at that through girder at the end, it looked like an eye. Like U of I. The contractor, when he formed these, for some reason, didn't make that an eye. He took that and they called it a turn down end cap. He formed it, and when he come down, so that when you look at the end of that, it's straight, just like even with the top. This is the only place in the state of Illinois that they have seen that, is in Massac County. And that made that bridge historic, and when I wanted to replace it, I looked around and I submitted that one, and they said no, and I says, okay, what is this turn down end cap? I didn't even know what they were talking about. And I called the guy in Springfield. He says, well, it's the way they formed that. He says, find another one in the county. Because they want, if they can, they want another one in the county. If they can't, then in the region. Or in the state. If you can find another in the state, sometimes they'll let that go.
How old are those bridges like that?
I don't know exactly when they were built, but it was all in the area of 1910 to 1920, 1925.
Right.
The county, Danny Jones and I spent, you remember, I come and get John, and we spent several days digging through old county board minutes and found out where different contracts were let to build different bridges. And we found all in that area of 1910 to 1920 is when we found most of them were built. And I don't want to talk, because I don't want to have to go back and dig through them dirt things again. But we spent 2 or 3 days digging through, and once of course we knew the 1910, and that's where we started, and went back a little bit, and then went forward. And we found most of them in that 1900 to 1920 time frame is when most of those concrete bridges were built.
Well, what, did they set up a batch plant? I mean, they didn't have cement mixers back then, did they?
I would guess that they mixed, if you will look, probably they mixed the concrete using, they just... Right out of the creek.
Concrete gravel.
And it was, back then, I'm going to guess, more like it was mixed by hand.
Was it right, they had cold joints in those things and all?
Well, you can see them.
Had to.
You can see them. Oh, yeah, you can see the
Wasn't
cold
good enough
joints.
to fast enough.
You can see the cold joints where they probably stopped the night, you know. But, yeah, they finally told me what it was, and I looked at my picture that I had sent him, and I said, that's what I sent you. And he pulled the pictures back out, and he says, oh, you're right, go ahead and build your bridge. I'll substitute it. But now they're looking at this whole historic bridge issue, they're looking at it again. In fact, at this point, any bridge that is over years old, no matter what the construction, has to be looked at. Because they're looking at this until they get it all determined. They come out with a circular that says, I think any bridge over 50 years old has to go through a historic bridge review now, which is nonsense. But more red tape.
Well, really, that one up there, the way that, you know, it's full of gravel, plus they have the holes there beside it. I don't know, but really need a new one there, you know.
It's poor alignment, and that's why I picked on it. You know, it would be ideal to kind of sweep the curve and build. It would be better to build a bridge around it or a structure. And I've looked at it, and a bridge like we're typically built is not real good there because of the hollow beams, and that goes underwater so much. It's frowned upon putting one of these new bridges like that up there because...
Fill up with water?
No. They could, used to, but now they can't anymore. They require them to be filled with foam so that they can't fill it with water because they had some, got in a flood situation, and there's holes in the bottom. Mm-hmm. And if they got full of water and they got cold enough, then they froze, those holes got stopped up. The water went down, like in flood conditions, and they froze and busted. So now they're making them, 2 reasons. It keeps them from, they used to pour them with sonotubes, and that became a problem. And if they collapse, then they become extremely heavy and hard to handle. So then they went to using foam, so now they use foam for all of them. Most of them are a square opening instead of round, so they've got to use foam to form them. Yeah, they're all hollow, so they use foam to form them now. So.
One of the decks work about 6-inch hole down through there.
anything,
Well,
Joe?
That's all I have right now. Oh, gentleman asked me about a road, what road was that? Old Benton Road, been up through there lately? One he was just talking about, basically, it goes there, by, that Camp Yuba Church.
Yeah.
Through there, you been through there? The man said something about it needed working on or something, I'm not sure.
We've done some, grading, and I think it was last week they talked about grading. I'll check it.
Okay.
It's,
The gentleman yesterday said something about, he said, you been up that way lately? I said, no.
we talked about it was rough, and we did, I think, graded it last week, but I'll check it, make
Okay,
sure.
so
But
this
with the rains, we've been able to do quite a bit of grading lately, so. And it's, needed it rough, so.
Okay.
All right.
We'll look at that one.
We'll check it out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Larry.
By the way, we got the one the gentleman was in on last week, and it was mud washed out of the man's driveway until the man fixes his driveway, And like our guy said, we would be money ahead going up and fixing the man's driveway, but that's off the right of way. There's a legality issue, and if you ever start it, where you gonna stop?
That's right. You can't stop.
Can't go there. We'd be money ahead if we had the man's driveway fixed like it
Send
needs
him
to
a
be.
bill fixing what we got. It wouldn't work with it. Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Larry.